I know 2027 doesn't even feel like a real year right now, but let's talk about the movies that are lined up to release then. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing a way too early 2027 movies video where I'm ranking all the 2027 movies that are scheduled to come out that year right now based on my excitement. Lately, the 2027 movie calendar started to take shape with announcements of new movies or dates being confirmed for movies, and so I figured it was the perfect time to sit down and look ahead. Also, I'm a college football fan. The season just started. Oftentimes in the off-season for college football, they do way too early rankings, so I figured it could be a fun twist on movies just looking at 2027 films. Of course, I'll reevaluate this list as we get closer to 2027, so probably at the end of next year. But without further ado, hit that like button, comment down below what 2027 movies you're the most excited to watch, and of course, subscribe into that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And I say we just dive into this tier list. So the tiers I have today are Need It Now, I'm excited, I'm curious, and Don't Care. And I've got around 17 of the biggest movies coming out because there are only about 20 that are announced as of right now for this calendar year. The first one is going to be Star Wars Starfighter. This is a Star Wars film directed by Sean Levy, who gave us Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, he's directed some of the best episodes of Stranger Things, which is my jam. I will say with this movie, I am concerned. It's a Star Wars film that doesn't feel Star Wars-y already. It seems more so like it's just going to be, you know, this fun adventure movie that doesn't really do anything Star Wars related. It's just using the Star Wars brand to try and sell tickets. It seems like, frankly, out of all the Star Wars films we've gotten and Star Wars projects, this one might be the least Star Wars-y. It's got Ryan Gosling in the lead role. Mia Goth is cast. Amy Adams. So you're bringing in this all-star cast. That already kind of off-putting in terms of fitting in with other Star Wars projects. So it seems, like I said, like this is going to be a fun sci-fi adventure set in the Star Wars universe, but it's not really going to warrant having Star Wars in its title. It's going to be like any other action adventure movie, again, just using Star Wars as the vehicle to sell tickets. So I'm going to say, this is difficult because I like Sean Levy. I'll put it in I'm curious, because I am curious. I'm hopeful maybe that this movie can win me over, but as of right now, it seems like a big red flag to me. And this is coming from a Sean Levy guy. I know a lot of people hate him. I quite love Deadpool and Wolverine, and he's done some of my favorite things from Stranger Things, but the whole movie just kind of screams red flag to me. Next, we have the third Angry Birds movie. I'm going to save everyone some time. Don't care. Haven't seen any of those. I've only played the game on the iPad years ago, and that's all I have to say about that. Next up, we have Superman 2, or just Man of Tomorrow, which I think it's going to be a mistake if they release the movie calling it Man of Tomorrow. I think you got to put Superman in there up front. I know that's going to deter a lot of people, and some people might say, well, that doesn't make sense because so-and-so from the comics. I'm just looking at this from a business standpoint. Superman comes out, then you release a movie called Man of Tomorrow. A lot of people just are going to be confused. I'm not saying we're going to be confused, but the common moviegoer out there, the person who goes 3 times a year, they might be like, what the hell is this? So you got to call it Superman, Man of Tomorrow. It might be a bit redundant, but look at all the other big superhero franchises. They always have, you know, Thor, Love and Thunder, Thor, Ragnarok, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Like, you gotta have Superman in the title, in my opinion. That's a topic for another time. I would say I'm curious about this movie as well. I'll put it at the top. I'm curious. I liked Superman, did not love it. I know a lot of people do. I never did love it. I thought it was very solid, and it's what DC needs in terms of redirecting, course correcting, if you will, that entire cinematic universe for the better. James Gunn's directing here again, so some of my issues from Superman might be present here. We shall see. From what I gather, we could have like a Lex Luthor Superman dynamic here where they have to work together. So that's something that I think is a unique angle to take for sure. Kind of reminds me of what we get in Days of Future Past, an X-Men film where we see Charles Xavier and Eric Lehnsherr or Magneto working together somewhat. I'm here for that, where there's like an established hero and villain, but they have to fight the greater evil. I don't know much about the Superman comics, so I'm just predicting here based on what I've read on Twitter. But that sounds like it could be fun, so I'm curious about that one for sure. Next up, we've got TMNT Mutant Mayhem 2, I believe. I have never seen a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, so by default, I'm saying I don't care, but there's a higher likelihood that I'll watch that than I will Angry Birds 3, because I only have to watch one movie instead of watching 2. I think there's an Angry Birds spinoff as well. So anyway, I've never been a huge TMNT guy. Even growing up, never really got into them. Next, we have Ice Age Boiling Point. I watched the first 4 Ice Age movies, I want to say. The first 3 I quite enjoyed. 4 was whatever, and I never saw the 5th one. I think there might even be some spin-offs. I don't know. But that franchise, it's in the past for me. It's dead. It's extinct, if you will. And so I don't care anymore. I don't care about this one. I'm going to put it right here as well. I have no desire at this point. The first Ice Age was a childhood film. Same with 2 and 3. I saw Dawn of the Dinosaurs in theaters. It was a big deal in my house. So the Ice Age trilogy was like childhood. I have nostalgia for that. But anything past that, I've grown past it, and I don't have any desire to check it out. So I'm sure it'll do well. It'll make money. The Ice Age franchise has been running for, 20 plus years at this point, so it'll do well. I just don't really care. Next up, we've got How to Train Your Dragon 2. This is the live-action remake sequel. I'm going to say for this one, because it's not like I outright don't care. The reason I'm not putting it in outright don't care is because this movie has the opportunity to stray from the source material, in my opinion. The first How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake was shot for shot, except it was somehow 20 minutes longer because they changed a couple scenes and drew out some scenes, in my opinion. But when it comes down to this, it doesn't have to just be shot for shot of the second movie, because if we're about to get a whole live-action trilogy that's just remaking an entire animated trilogy, that is a disgrace, in my opinion. I'm already very adverse to live-action remakes just being shot for shot. I think they should change things, adapt things for the better, make them cooler in live action, and I felt the live-action remake here didn't really do that. It was just shot for shot. This does not need to be shot for shot of the animated second film. It needs to be a sequel to the live action movie, but change things. This is your point in the trilogy where you can stray from the source material, in my opinion. So if they get gutsy and they go and they say, hey, we're going to change things up, you can change the story entirely. This is where you play around with it, you know? You pleased people enough by not changing too much to piss people off in the first one. Now you can change as much as you want, in my opinion. Create a whole new story for all I care. I think that would be the most exciting thing creatively to do, as opposed to just copy-paste with a bit of a different font. So we'll see what they end up doing. That's why I'm in but if it's shot for shot, I mean, we're going to sit through a whole live-action trilogy when you have the superior version sitting right there that are animated by DreamWorks. So I don't understand that. I never will. Money talks, but even then, the remake didn't do like $1 billion. It still did, I think, 600 million something, but it's not like it was a major smash hit, so we shall see. Next up, we have Avengers Secret Wars, which I am excited for. I've been all over the place with these two Avengers movies and my personal excitement, my hype levels. Doomsday could be a complete mess, but Avengers Secret Wars, that title's getting butts and seats. It's got me excited for sure, so I'm going to put it right here. It's not like I need to watch this movie now. I have to watch Doomsday first to understand what I'm even getting myself into, because if Doomsday sucks, that could completely alter my excitement for Secret Wars, right? Also, this movie might not even come out in 2027. It could come out in 2028. They got a long journey ahead of them with filming. Doomsday, hell, that could even get pushed again. So we'll see. Doomsday could end up coming out in 2027, and then, Secret Wars could go to 2028. But when it comes to this movie, I am excited. I mean, who knows who's going to show up? Call me a glazer, call me, a shill. Envision Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Toby, Andrew, Tom, with all these other characters. I mean, that's something that I want to see. If they can make it make sense and pull it off, I'm here for it. This could have, the biggest scene in a Marvel movie. That's not the only reason I'm excited. I'm just saying, on paper, that's the only reason right now to really warrant the hype. Plus, you throw in some of that leaked concept art, they might be cooking. That's all I'm going to say. Next, we have Frozen 3. I wasn't a fan of Frozen 2. I know that's a hot take, apparently. Frozen 1, very underappreciated Disney film. Borderline overrated. I think Tangled is the better movie. I think Moana is better, but Frozen's very, very good. It has a very well-executed twist. The songs are banging. Frozen 2, soundtrack better than the movie itself. I'm going, I'll put it right here because, it could win me back, but it's not like I'm dying to see this movie. Next, we have the new Lord of the Rings film, The Hunt for Gollum. Can't believe this is happening. I believe Andy Serkis is directing. He's coming back to play Gollum. In recent news at Comic-Cons, I want to say Gandalf's coming back, Frodo's coming back, like the original actors. So we're getting Elijah Wood, we're getting Ian McKellen. Who knows who else could show up here? This is a big deal, and it kind of screams desperation, but also I'm curious to see what they cook up. It's not Peter Jackson. We have the Lord of the Rings trilogy, we have the Hobbit trilogy. This is something entirely different. I'm not sure what story there is left to tell with Gollum. I felt like they, had him come back in the Hobbit movies for a bit. We got his entire story pretty much in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so is this cash grabby? Maybe. I'm nervous because of that. I am going to have to put this, and I'm curious. I'm going to put it at the top of I'm curious, though, because it has the highest potential to me of those movies, and I'm curious. It could be a 10 out of 10. We've gotten amazing films from the world of Middle-earth, but I'm not clamoring for this, and I'm just afraid this is going to be one of those movies that tries to mess with the lore too much, piss off some fans, and change things for the worse. I would like to imagine it could be good, but Andy Serkis' direction has never been my favorite, especially I think he did Let There Be Carnage, the second Venom movie. Yikes. So he's not proven himself as a director. He's a damn good actor, but as a director, if he's the one, at the helm for this movie, that is another one of those red flags that can't get me outright excited. Next up, we have Shrek 5. Look, I've only seen the first 2 Shrek movies. I have a lot of homework to do in this franchise. I've heard I only need to watch the first 2. I would say for this. I'd put it like right at the top probably because I will end up seeing it. It's going to be this huge movie when it comes out. I'll watch the other 2 Shreks I haven't seen, and I'll watch, Puss in Boots finally, including The Last Wish. People have been begging me to watch that. I just never have. This movie though, no reason for me to get excited right now. Just the title, really, and there's like a 20-second tease. Zendaya, I think, is voicing Shrek's daughter in this movie, so there's something. It'll do well. It'll make bank, but not really a huge Shrek guy, honestly. There are better DreamWorks franchises. I think Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon are the better franchises, from what I've seen of Shrek. Next, we have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. This is the first one that I'm putting in Need It Now. The reason being, the second movie, Across the Spider-Verse, left off on a massive cliffhanger, borderline with an incomplete film, if you want to view it that way. We need to see the continuation of the story, and having to wait 4 years is insane. I think we might have to wait even to 2028 for this one, but I need it now. I needed to see this a couple days after. I mean, I would have watched this movie immediately after Across if I could have. Of all the movies, it's the one where I'm like, this is the one that I need to see the continuation of the story of the most. It had a humongous cliffhanger. It was a part 1. This is part 2, and we were promised this in March of the following year, then May of the following year, and then it was delayed indefinitely, and now it's just coming out in, I think June of 2027, so we gotta wait a hot minute still to see the continuation of this story, which is frustrating. I wish that we could have seen this by now, but I need it now. It's like, I'm getting impatient. I think a lot of us are, so I need this movie now. Moving on, we've got the Legend of Zelda film, which is slated for a 2027 release. Growing up, I think I played some of these games, Wind Waker, something like that, on GameCube, but I've never been a huge Zelda fan, so I'm going to put this in, I'll put it right here, maybe even at the top, because I feel like of those movies, that's the one that's like, yeah, I'll probably check that one out. Very vaguely familiar with the characters, the world, the story. I just wasn't a huge gamer growing up, and so that's why I'm kind of on the outs with that, but never say never. I mean, I could probably do a little research and find my footing with that world, but I'm not terribly excited for it. That's why it's in that category. Next, we have A Quiet Place Part 3. I believe John Krasinski is coming back to direct. The first 2 movies are bangers. There's no reason for me not to be excited for this, so I'm putting it in that tier right now. I am very much looking forward to this. The first 2 movies are bangers. I saw day 1 in theaters one time. I was pretty high on it walking out of the theater. Looking back, it's probably regressed for me a little bit, but still, very solid horror flick. So it's safe to say they haven't missed in the world of A Quiet Place. Very excited for Part 3 with Krasinski coming back to direct. There is still more story to tell there for sure with Emily Blunt's character, that family. I am intrigued to see what they cook up. Moving on, we've got Godzilla x Kong Supernova. When will it end? Come on, kill me, I'm here! I'm sorry, I'm not a MonsterVerse guy. Didn't care for the last one. Haven't cared for really any of these movies except Kong Skull Island and maybe the first Godzilla movie with Bryan Cranston. I'm gonna say I just don't care, guys. I don't. I'm gonna put it at the top if I don't care. But it's like, I don't want to watch another one of these movies. They're so predictable and played out at this point that I know exactly what I'm getting into. They don't deliver anything, though. The human characters have consistently been duds. The plots are just ridiculous. And even the fight sequences aren't even that cool or intriguing. So I'm fully out on that franchise. I'll probably be skipping out on Supernova. Next, we have Gato, I believe is how it's pronounced. This is an upcoming Pixar movie, original story about cats. I'm a huge cat guy. I love my boy Indy. Here's a picture of him. He's a good boy. And so the 2 things, a Pixar original story with cats, you have my heart. I'd say, honestly, I'd put that in I'm curious. I'd put it at the top of I'm curious. Because while Pixar original films haven't hit for me lately, Elio was a miss. A lot of the other ones have been misses. I didn't care for Luca all that much. Turning Red was A couple others were misses as well. This could be the original story from Pixar that wins me back over, and wins a lot of us back over, because the consensus on Pixar today is they have fallen off with original stories. A lot of their sequels have still hit, but original storytelling from them has taken a bit of a hit lately, so I'm curious about that one for sure. Next up, we got Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I'm not a huge Sonic movie fan. I am not a huge Sonic fan in general, so that's you need to know where I'm coming from. I'll put this in It's not that I outright don't care, but I'm like, you know what? I'll put it right here. I thought Sonic 3 was all right. I genuinely don't get the appeal to Jim Carrey's performance in these movies. I know people go crazy for him and say he's hilarious. I've never been a huge Jim Carrey fan, especially with his comedy. It's just not my cup of tea, and so I found that movie to be ridiculous. But again, I'm not a Sonic fan. Those movies are very much for the fans, much like how the FNAF movies are for hardcore fans. I think Sonic, the movies, are for those hardcore fans. And so I'm not a hardcore fan, so it's not really appealing to me. not really that interested, honestly. But the last one here is the Batman Part 2. This is the movie out of all these that I need the most. I need this one now. We'll have had to wait about 5+ years when this ultimately ends up coming out, which I think is too long, honestly, I'll say it. But if it's for the best and this movie is just as good or better than the first Batman, then we won. And we could be on pace for the best Batman trilogy out there. I can't wait to see Pattinson back in this role. Hopefully Reeves cooked with the script. Give me another Michael Giacchino score. I want to be back in this world of Gotham. And honestly, unrelated to the movie itself, I want Pattinson's Batman to be in the DCU. Combine him with Corn Sweat Superman, I think we're in for a treat. Regardless, I can't wait to see what Reeves has cooked up. This is the one that I need more than any movie on this list. Without a doubt, the Batman Part 2 is going to be my most anticipated movie of that year, unless Nolan somehow pumps out another movie, which I don't think he's going to do because he's got the Odyssey coming in 2026. But that does it for my way too early ranking of all the big-time movies that are slated to release in 2027 as of right now. So let me know in the comments down below what tiers you would place these movies in, what 2027 movie you're the most excited for, and of course hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and be on the lookout for more videos coming very, very soon. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.